Hello everybody, this is Rima, Repat Armenia's Program Manager. We're continuing our Ask Me Live Q&A series, and today we're honored to have our host Armen Orujyan, who is the founding CEO of FAST Foundation. So he will be talking about splitting life between Armenia and wherever you live. That can be like different places and a lot of places. Also, he will be talking about professional integration, network opportunities that you can have here in Armenia, and yeah, just life here in Armenia, how it goes. So please welcome Armen Orujyan. So we will start from a few questions. I will be asked some questions, and then you can start asking yours. Armenjan, thank you for coming. It's really a great pleasure for us to have you. Let's just start from the beginning. Let's just start with the years when you left Armenia and you decided to come back, start something great. Can you tell us more about your story and your connection with Armenia? Let's just start with this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my
it's really
pleasure.
always a pleasure to see you. It's great to be here,
Yeah.
to be your guest. I was born in this country.
Yeah.
I don't want to give out my age, but 45 years ago. I lived here through the age of 15, and we migrated to the United States, and I lived since in Los Angeles since 1989. And at that time, Armenia was not independent, it was part of the Soviet Union. That said, most of my education has been in the Western world, in Los Angeles. And then I got into the world of innovation and entrepreneurship some 20 years ago, exactly actually 20 years ago, when I started ASCO International, which became one of the leading innovation and entrepreneurship platforms around the globe. We had programs at the United Nations headquarters in New York, at the World Bank headquarters, but also programs in Eastern Europe, in East Asia, in Africa. And then a couple of years ago, by fortune, Ruben and I, we got to meet, we got to talking, and then he told me what he was doing in Armenia, and I hadn't been back home here in 10 years or so. And then before that, I was here for a couple of years, and prior to that, 16 years I hadn't been here. Asked me to come and check out what they were doing. I came, and then we started talking about science and technology, innovation. I was very excited. We agreed for me to come in and see how I can help their vision to become a reality. And I'll tell you, I didn't have an idea of moving here, and I remember initially I was saying maybe I'll spend about a week every 2 months in Yerevan, and then the rest of the time in Los Angeles. Now I spend nearly 90% of my time here.
Yeah.
I kind of moved here. I'm in denial, but I live here. I live
Exactly.
here. I live here. I live here.
You're a repat.
Yeah, I suppose. I still have home in Los Angeles, so it's not family, and it's still home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the perception before meeting Ruben about Armenia? Was it a cool country for you to move back, or just do something without having this this conversation, without having the people with this kind of vision and stuff like this? So I know that it's really important to have the team, to have the people around who have the same mindset. So what was the perception before finding the right people, let's say?
Well, I think the fact that I hadn't been here for 10 years tells you a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't really had a perception, because you're just not here physically. I'd done some work before that, when it was a different world, different era. States were home, still home.
Yeah.
Now when we started doing whatever we're doing now, it was almost like on a daily basis you're falling in love with the reality of, and kind of learning a little bit about yourself and refounding yourself as an Armenian as well.
Yeah.
30 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm.
2/3 of your life, you live abroad, then you come here, and you come to a different reality naturally.
Yeah.
And the way people grow, the people live and evolve.
Mm-hmm.
That's the change of a human. Human change is not, I'm going to change you. You're going to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And generally, you either evolve in straight lines, or you move aside, or you come closer to each other. So it's the evolution of what I was here and what I had become is different. And now I'm almost going through a revolution myself internally.
Yeah.
Coming back to Armenia and refining myself within whatever it is that we're doing, but in a nation that gave me a birth.
What was your first impression, like when you came here after?
I was actually it was pleasantly surprised, because when I was here last in 2007, so it was a darker place. It absolutely was a darker place. I remember in 2007, there was no tumult. There was just an open, empty structure, for instance. And I remember even speaking to Pegor and Mary Lou back in the days. They were trying to still figure out what to do with this structure. And I was there yesterday because they're expanding with the Convergence Center. It's amazing, right? Yeah. But it wasn't there.
Yeah.
UWC Dilijan wasn't there.
Yeah.
IB School wasn't there. Impact Hub wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Repat wasn't there, right?
I was waiting for that answer.
And many things. Idea Foundation wasn't there.
Yeah.
Aurora wasn't there. It was a different world. It was a different. Then I came back, and then I also went to Datev and I saw what they've done. And beautiful place. It helps you kind of see a different world, and there was a lot more hope. And I want to give credit to all those people, everyone who's contributed within that decade that I hadn't been here, that contributed to brightness of the country. And kudos to them, kudos to you and Ruben and many others who actually did work very hard. Sam Simonians, Begors, Mary Luz, and others who've done their input. So I came here already in a country that shows the signs of progress, shows signs of moving forward. I'm privileged to be here at that time, and now we're doing our own contribution naturally. And hopefully 10 years will pass, it will be a different world. It will be something that we are desiring to create in Armenia, and many others who would come here, they will find the fruits of our work.
Yeah. Talking about what you're doing here and the impact, can you please tell us more about FAST, about the startups, about the vision? You have set really, really cool goals. Can you talk about this?
Of course, very ambitious goals.
Yeah.
The basic mission is creating an ecosystem that drives scientific advancement. But we want to turn Armenia into top 10 innovation country and top 5 in data sciences in the next decade or two. These are extremely ambitious goals. Right now, Armenia is number 68 or 69 when it comes to innovation. And when you think of a country, top 10 innovation, it shouldn't just be about how you're innovating.
Yeah.
It's all about everything about the people itself, the culture of the people. Meaning, if you're top 10 innovation country, or top 10 innovation nation, others in the world view you in the same line, in the same sentence as Japanese, Germans, Americans, Swiss, Singaporeans, you name it, right? Not only how smart you are, but also culturally. You have a level of sophistication, you have a level of understanding, soft skills, professional skills, everything from education to research to commercialization. They're viewing you as this very mature society. And that's a lot of work. That's a lot of hard work. It's possible. We believe it. We're very optimistic. We're very ambitious, very optimistic. We have a 92% chance of failure, but we're still very, very optimistic that we're going to be able to succeed and push this through. This for us, it's an important goal. So we're we're looking at the ecosystem. There's three big components in the ecosystem: intellectual capacity of the society, financial capacity, and network capacity. And these are ingredients that play in all the projects that we're doing. In every individual, in you too, you have intellectual capacity, financial, and network. We all have it. Society has it. The ecosystem that drives science and technology also has that. We do evaluation of the system. We look at intellectual capacity, university system, higher education, general education. We're looking at organizations like Synopsys and Pixar and others and how they contribute to intellectual capacity in Armenia. And then we look at financial capacity, venture capital availability, private equity availability, but also granting schemes, anything else that would allow the society to function at the highest level. Now, network capacity is very, very interesting because you think of network capacity as just two people meeting each other and having a conversation. It also can be considered as such. In reality, network capacity is a lot more complex because part of it is the reciprocal relationship between entities. More so, though, network capacity has to do the relationship between an individual and the country itself. The favorable policies, procedures, rules, regulations, laws, and the environment that the nation state creates for individuals want to have this relationship. Because you, Rimaja, you say, I have this intellectual capacity and I want to contribute this or give this to this republic in order for me to gain X, Y, and Z. You're choosing to do it in Armenia versus doing it in the United States because you find that reciprocal relationship between countries. Many don't. That's why they go to the United States, because they say the relationship that I can establish with the United States, relationship that I can establish with France, with the United Kingdom, is greater, is more beneficial. We on our side, we need to work with the government, we need to work ourselves for us to create better and more favorable environment for these people who want to stay here. It's not only jobs, but it's also all the infrastructure, all the policies, all the rules, labor laws, tax laws, corporate laws, business creation, entrepreneurs, bankruptcy laws, gender issues. All of these things come into play for you to say, I want to be in Armenia versus I want to be in the United States.
Yeah, basically you're changing the face of the country.
We have to all work.
Yeah.
One foundation it's not practical to expect one foundation to do it. It's not even our mandate to think of culture of people.
Yeah.
But it's very important because no matter what we do, if the culture doesn't change, we'll fall short. We will not be competitive. And in our vision, in our image, we are in a very interesting spot where we have this opportunity for another maybe decade for us to leapfrog and become the people that we dream and we intend for us to be, not only in our imagination, but also on the lips of others, on the reality of the world. And we are working very hard for us to get there.
It's interesting to see how excited you are when talking about this kind of huge things. And also, I would like to ask, do you have like a specific interest in, let's say, in the direction that you're peaking, STEM education, STEM startups and stuff like this? What's your specific interest in this? And besides creating the ecosystem, besides helping, supporting the country itself, what is your passion regarding the startup culture, people working in the startup system, and
Well, giving the opportunity and enabling people is a fascinating. When you touch someone, not physically, but when you touch someone and you see how they prosper, when you see how they blossom, it's one of the most incredible feelings because you know that you've played a role. Whether you're a partner, you are a founder, or you're a mentor, you're a coach, you're a friend. It really doesn't matter. What matters is that through your touch, there are developments of that nature. We have 4 scientific areas that we care for, and we feel data sciences, under which we envision everything from artificial intelligence, machine learning, to data modeling, data simulation, analytics, as a big anchor for us, because we believe culturally we're there as a nation to receive it. whether it's mathematics, applied mathematics, fundamental physics. We culturally are ready to accept, and we work very hard to get this knowledge. We're spending a lot of time and resources, probably 2/3 of our time is spent on bringing that type of an education, research, commercialization in Armenia. We're also looking at biotechnologies, advanced materials, biomaterials, and quantum physics. So classical physics, we're very strong in that. There's some moves in quantum space. There is not the level of sophistication that we would like, so we would also want to be a player there. Now, imagine Armenia for a minute, that thrives in data sciences. We have major accomplishments in creation or push forward in artificial intelligence, in biotechnology space, where we're really contributing to the well-beings of individuals, and we're in the future, in the near future, we're going to announce something related to healthcare and well-beings and wellness of individuals. So imagine we're also big in that. We're creating new materials for us to create new computing systems, new infrastructures, and then in quantum computing, we're also part of the next generation of computing that is so massively different than anything that we understand. And imagine all of this is happening in Armenia. And I don't intend to say this in the context of we are the greatest, we're the most creative, we're the most innovative. I don't buy into that. I don't buy into that. I buy more, we have the qualities necessary for us to reach there. Reaching there is an arduous process. It's hard work, but it's fun. It's fun work. It's something at the end of the tunnel when you see this innovation, innovative people, innovative nation. We want to work hard. We want to do everything possible with our team, with all of our network, our people that work with us, our partners, the university system that works with us, ministries, the government. We're very proud that people understand and buy into the vision that we have. Again, I just want to repeat, we know that this is ambitious. We know that this is ambitious. As I said, we probably have over 90% chance of failure. So we're not blind. We're not blind. We're very realistic what we want. But we want to take this chance. We want to take this risk. It's also an innovation for us as well, making that type of a... since day one, I've said we're here for intellectual revolution, for us to be part of this intellectual revolution.
One last question, like maybe a fun one.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, in my mind, I always want to stay like in the pages of the history of Armenia. Like, you know, I did a major thing for my country and stuff like this. Do you have this kind of ambitions, like, in your heart, like, for your future generations, for like your children, your generations to come, to say like, you know, I've done so much for Armenia, and should this approach be common with the citizens of Armenia?
Look, I've done a lot in the United States. I've done a lot for young people around the world. When you sleep at night, that's the most important time when you know who you are. And when you wake up, you look at yourself in the mirror, you know the composition of you. What you tell me, what the audience tells me, you can also take it away from me, because you told me that. What I've done always stays with me. No one can ever take that away. And that's the most important thing. The most important thing is what you've done truly, you know, deep in your heart, deep in your mind, you know that you've done something. The legacy that you left in you is the most important gift that you can give yourself. When you work 9 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever it may be, and you haven't made a contribution and impact of that nature, there's very little that you can actually explain to yourself. So I don't care about name recognitions and things of that nature, because it's not yours. What's yours is what you've done, and it's deep inside of you. And that I cherish, I value. I've done a lot that means a great deal for me, maybe even if it's not for others. But that's in my core, and I want that to remain in my core. So when I get punched around, and it's normal because you can't ever please everyone.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, you can't ever please everyone. So when you're having a difficult day, when you're having a tough day, that core allows you to move forward. That core allows you to carry on and do whatever it is that you're doing. If I rely more on public opinion and name recognition and whatnot, I'll start protecting that status, which will take me away from the work that I'm here to do. I get misinterpreted a lot in this society, but it's okay. You know, time will show the intentions, the meanings. I've been misinterpreted many times in my life, but the history has shown and demonstrated that I stay true to the commitments and the core that I intend to carry forward.
Thank you so much. Let's start with the questions. So, Eva Yordanova says, how do you envision Armenia in 2030 and the world in general in 2050?
Eva, thank you. Great hearing from you. I hope you're doing well. Hope we'll still figure out to do many great things in Bulgaria. Eva, actually our plans are for 2041. I call it Smart Armenia 2041 because it's the 50th anniversary of Armenia's independence, the last republic. And we really envision Armenia being a champion in the space of data science. It's based on one natural resource that Armenia has. It's people. We have a very rich history. We've kind of lost our way for a while, but culturally we were ready to pick this up. We are ready to, and not only ready, we are putting our time and efforts, not only me, I'm talking about people that are here. They're putting their efforts in trying to better themselves, better the country. There's some of the required capital capacities is not there, and we're building collectively, we're getting it done, and I think it looks great for the country and the world in general. If we're successful, I think, and you know this very well yourself, I think, from your own work that you're doing in Bulgaria and you've done around the world, the globe is becoming a small village. Global village is a true statement now. It's no longer scientific discovery, innovation, technological innovation, or any type of innovation is no longer only for one country or for one nation. I think our success will be amplified, and it will appear in all corners of the world, and hopefully people such as yourself will also be involved doing great things in the world. And we look forward to finding ways to do it all collectively and together. Thanks for the question.
So we have another question from Andre Setrak. Dear sir, kindly differentiate the word we. Who is we? We Armenians or we Americans?
We Armenians in this context, since I'm speaking, I think about 50 meters from the Republic Square of Armenia. By the way, beautiful views here. We're talking about we Armenians. But I tell you what, Andre, that we is slowly becoming about us as humans in the current form of our evolution. We often speak about what's going to happen when artificial intelligence gets to a point where it's as smart, if not smarter than the human artificial general intelligence, and then you have sentient who are not biological. It's all going to be about we as people, not as Armenians or Americans, or as we in the current form, and trying to make a decision, and really trying to make a decision as what's the next phase of our human evolution is going to be.
Yep, we are. So you can ask your questions. So Alex Abraman says, I will be in Armenia in the summer. Are there any events in June, July that I can attend? Maybe for FAST.
Outside of FAST, I think July 4 and 5, there's a major medical conference in Armenia that's going to take place. I think I would encourage you to be there because it's going to be all the most sophisticated and recent technological advancement in medicine. Those things are always quite interesting. As for us, I think we will have possibly the next pitch round of our Science and Technology Angels Network. I think welcome to observe to see how those pitching sessions take place. And then we have over 50 ongoing projects right now. It skips my mind. There could be many other things that we will be doing ourselves. 50, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've already launched 17, but we have another 51 actually in the pipeline for the next couple of years.
Okay, so yeah. Can you tell us about Global Innovation Forum?
Yes.
Yeah. I attended last year. I was like amazed. So yeah, please tell us what we can expect.
So many things I will not say, so you can actually be surprised as you were last time when it comes to immersed technology, and we like doing that. We like to have our conferences be immersive in the newest possible technology that we can bring. It still will be on artificial intelligence, machine learning as part of it, and the other part will be biomaterials and how also artificial intelligence plays a role in advanced materials. We're taking that track instead of biotechnology this time. It's going to be October 16-18 under the Aurora Forum umbrella, so it will be about a week-long festival with our forum, but also with Aurora's prize winner and possibly major concert on the Republic Square and many other side events. I want to say close to 40, 50 different types of events will be taking place the week from, I believe, October 14th through the 21st. So I would invite all people, Armenian, non-Armenian, to want to join these events. We're going to have many prominent people, including top-notch scientists in that space that will be in Armenia for our conference. It will be for 3 days again.
Huge work though.
Yeah. It's always, but we enjoy it. You were there this year.
Yeah, I was there, and I met so many influential people. Then I looked into the the brochure that you have, and oh my God, this person is like doing so much stuff, and I'm like I don't know them in person, and so many people came to Armenia, and it was like amazing. Even like the first thing, the venue. Top notch.
Thank you. We will have roughly around the same amount, about 100 top-notch scientists, Nobel Peace winners, also Peace Prize winners for Aurora, but also Nobel laureates in the space of mathematics, physics, and anything that's related to the forum itself.
And also what I liked was that I discovered so many local scientists, like young scientists that are doing such an amazing work, and we really we didn't know back in the university or in our community. So young people, young individuals that are doing such an amazing things are in Armenia, and they are working from Armenia, and this was incredible.
You're right. The point of this, as you're mentioning, there are many young people, and we are connecting young scientists with influential ones, those that have major footprint, for them to collaborate, but also learn from each other. In both ways, it's bi-directional, because learning, many of the young scientists, they're not only following trends as we're accustomed to see, they're not only doing trendy things, but they're working on major scientific discoveries, and some of the previous generation of scientists they also enjoy meeting and seeing and learning from young scientists. So it's a great reciprocal, again, connection there between various scientists in Armenia itself, but also abroad. Last event we had 22 countries, I believe, present, and hopefully we'll top that number this year. And the point is, this is one of those. It's only the second year, or you can technically say third year, because the first year we did a major workshop. It's slowly but surely becoming one of the major global scientific affairs, and it's taking place in Armenia. There are a lot of technological conferences, much larger, much bigger, but this is not about technology. This is about, if technology, it's about deep tech. It's not just random technologies, but it's really about those that have deep scientific baseline to it, and fundamental scientific discoveries, fundamental scientific works and publications that are being discussed and displayed during the forum. So we would like to extend an invite to all scientists out there to join this event, because I think this is one of those unique opportunities where it's not just technology, and it's not massive. We generally keep it between 400 to 500 people for us to create many opportunities for participants.
Amazing. So let's see if we have any questions here. So we have Victoria Petrosian says, what you can suggest the Armenians who want to do startup in Armenia, the first step, for example?
Good question, Victoria. For instance, in December we partnered with the Ministry of Diaspora, although the Ministry is no longer there, but we partnered with Ministry of Diaspora, FAST, with Impact Hub, IDEA Foundation, UWC Division, and many others. And if I skipped your name, not for lack of, it's not disrespect, it's just there were a lot of partners. But we hosted nearly 100 diaspora startups, and I'm coming to this interview from a leadership training program that I just gave to 14 startups that we're hosting in our facility, and 8 of them came from Erush, from the program that we co-hosted in December. And those 8, they're coming, from the United States, from France, from all the way from Swaziland.
Actually.
Swaziland, yeah. So it was really amazing. What I would say, we have a number of programs for entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs, aspiring female entrepreneurs, that you don't have to physically be in Armenia initially until you create a startup. And then we also have funding opportunities for Armenian-based startups. But you don't have to be even an Armenian. You just need to build your startup in Armenia. But join those programs, and you can you can find it on FAST's website, fast.foundation. It's easy. Our newest program, which is aspiring female entrepreneurs. We have 67 young women who are part of this cohort, and most of them, they don't know anything about startup, they don't know anything about innovation. They're going to go through modules that will start from ideation all the way to implementation of an idea. Look, I've been in this space for the last 20 years. This is what I've done around the world. This is what I've done in Africa, this is what I've done in Asia, this is what I've done in Europe, and this is what we've done a lot in the United States, also United Nations, World Bank. This is something that we've tried many places around the world. I've tried many places around the world. Now we're doing this in Armenia. It's a great opportunity. Our last cohort, which was just about budding entrepreneurs, we had this young lady who had an idea. Now she, within 2-3 months, she started a company. Now she's making revenue, and she's going to be funded by our Angels Network. So it's happening. This is real, and we love it. And from our startup studio, one of the startups that came in from high school, from UWC, now they just got funded. They just signed the deal. They just signed it. They're in our facility. We're helping them out with the space. In our, we don't have a business model where we make money. We don't care about that. We don't charge anything for anything that we do, actually. It's free space to startups, free coaching, free programming, free mentorship, and then they graduate in front of our Angels Network that we've created. And hopefully they get funded and they move on and kind of spread their wings and become successful businesses. And we're there to support them in any way we can, continuously.
Thank you. So Tamas Najarian says, what are some upcoming projects you're especially excited about, both business and otherwise? So we already
Yeah.
we already talked about it, Tamajan.
Well, one more
Yeah.
project that I want to talk about. It's our Advanced Solution Center. This is something that we're testing in Armenia. One of our co-founders is a big-time biotechnologist in Boston, Nubar Afeyan, and he's helping us to try some of these models that are successfully implemented in Boston for us to try to create unicorns in Armenia, but we're repurposing life sciences to data sciences, and we've already started for about 2 months. We brought in a number of local, very young mathematicians and data scientists in Armenia, and we're starting to deploy and employ this model that is both incubation and funding in one place, as they're doing in Boston around MIT. So we're getting their know-how in Boston, from Boston and from MIT, for us to implement it here in Armenia, and this is very exciting for us. We started with data sciences, now we're moving into biotechnology space as well, so we'll do something in life sciences. That's one of the projects we're very excited about that already launched and we're launching. But we have this major, massive open innovation campus that we're working on. This is a massive project. It will take probably several years for us to implement. But this will really change the face of scientific discovery and scientific commercialization in Armenia. Hopefully we'll be able to put this together with major partners in the next, and we'll make an announcement as to what type of collaborations and partnerships we're looking. But this is a flagship thing that we're very excited about, and more with weeks and months.
Yeah. We have Edgar Friedlander, how to become a member of FAST. I have an interesting scientific medical project.
As I said earlier, that we will be launching something in the space of medicine in a few weeks, so be patient, just follow our social media feed and other news outlets. We should be making an announcement on April, sometime in April. I don't have the precise date yet. That will be specifically about healthcare. Currently, FAST doesn't have any of the programs on healthcare, but becoming a part of FAST, we have our not Angels Network. Outside of Angels Network, we have our Next Gen Council that is about bringing together young Armenian scientists and entrepreneurs around the world. We already have 20 of them. Every year we select 10. This is going to be 30 people total, and then every year 10 will refresh. So we're right now at 20. For the next year we're going to bring in another 10 to make it 30. And you can obviously look into this as well, FAST.Foundation, and see whether you want to be part of that group.
Yeah. Andres Seropian says, many diaspora and Armenians are very risk averse when investing in time, energy and finances with projects in science and technology in Armenia. How can we increase confidence in the potential that Armenia offers in this area?
Well, and you should be risk averse. You should be risk averse anytime you're doing an investment, because investment, startups, finance, it's all risky business, be it in Armenia and the United States. There is a lot more risk in Armenia. And this is where we're trying to fix this. It's an excellent question. Earlier I was speaking about a favorable environment for innovation, favorable environment for startups, and this is very important. We're working with the government now and with a number of other entities for us to come up with policies and rules and regulations, transparency, integrity, everything that we can do to create an environment where you will be able to invest and not worry about your investment, and you'll be protected. Your time will be protected. Look, I had my own reservations coming to Armenia. I still have my own reservations. It's not fully gone. I know there are some entities, like we're sitting in Impact Hub. It's all about integrity. You come to FAST. We're nearly 30 people now that we're employing, and every single person, I promise you, you can check, double check, triple check. Every single person that we've hired was based on merit. Every single person. There's not a single person that we've hired as someone's cousin, someone's friend, someone's cub, or someone's sonic. We don't have that. We don't have it. It's all about integrity. It's all about merit. And we're bringing that culture. We're working with that culture. Impact Hub, the same here. You guys, whatever you're doing at Repat. There's some entities that we're all collectively working very hard. And if you look at this government is also trying, look, they're going to make many mistakes. Everyone is going to be making mistakes. Armenia is a startup itself. The whole country is a startup. And think of Pashinyan and others as startup founders, with their team. They're going to try, they're going to iterate, they're going to make mistakes, but they're going to figure this out, and we're going to need to help them to figure this out, because we have this opportunity. We don't want to miss it out. We don't want to mess up, nor do we want to miss the opportunity. So you just gotta not believe, but be a bit more of a risk taker now, and invest your time, invest your resources in trying to get things moving. Because look, we will not be able to do it ourselves. It's just not possible. It's just too big of a weight for us to carry ourselves. But more and more. Today I was in a meeting with Russian Armenian University. A gentleman also joined the meeting, an Armenian Canadian who's living in Russia but is considering to come to Armenia permanently. And we see more and more cases of this nature. And maybe this is the wrong venue, but I'm the worst advocate just saying move to Armenia. I'm not that person. I know I'm at Repat and I'm Impact Hub, and I should be the one who's saying come to Armenia regardless. No, don't come to Armenia regardless. Don't kill me for this, right? Don't come to Armenia regardless. Find your niche in Armenia.
Yeah.
I didn't come to Armenia regardless. I would not have done it. I came here because I see an opportunity. I know how I can contribute, not only for the sake of contribution, but because I personally benefit from this contribution as well. If you do that, you'll be here for a long time. If you don't, you're going to be massively disappointed, and we don't want people to be disappointed. We want you to be an ambassador. I have become an ambassador. For me to say don't come to Armenia just because, it doesn't mean I'm not an ambassador. I'm an ambassador for you to come to Armenia with an understanding as to what you're trying to do. Because otherwise you're going to become the worst ambassador. I'll tell you one statistics. People actually like to share bad news 11 times, good news 3 times. So I'd rather have you come and be it's an actual human behavior. For you to share the good news 3 times rather than share the bad news 11 times. So this is why I would say come to Armenia when you can bring and share good news.
So here we have Serina Lubatatevosyan. Greetings from Moscow. Do you believe that it's really important to live in Armenia in order to be most effective in your contribution to Armenia?
I don't think so. No, I don't think you need to, especially today. You don't need to live in Armenia to be the biggest contributor or to contribute properly. But more so, look, you know what? If I were to stay in Armenia some 30 years ago, I have no idea what I would have become. Today, I'm happy to be here back and contribute because of being a diaspora Armenian, because I have gotten my education in the Western world. So don't feel bad that you're not here physically or that you haven't been here physically all these years. I think you still can contribute properly. It really depends what you want to do. You're the judge of whether you can actually contribute, especially today. Look, I'm speaking to you, sitting in Armenia, and you're in Moscow and you're listening. You're already contributing in a way by just merely being present there. If you can do this, you can do a lot more naturally, and I think that's how we're going to be working here. So I wouldn't worry that you're not here physically, but come if you can.
Yeah. So Armen, what do you do besides work in Armenia?
Well, I still have business interests in the United States. In Armenia, I'm a very friendly loner, actually, right? So you don't see me in too many social functions. I don't know how to just end up in a social function unless I am doing something productive in my head. So I need a productive engagement all the time. So I would read a lot naturally. You know, I spend time at the gym. Unfortunately, in Yerevan, we don't have too many places where we can go walk, we can go bike. Hopefully, you know, it goes way beyond my mandate, but also improving transportation, improving those types of little opportunities for people. So I can see you on the street sometimes. It's like it's not that Armenia is not walkable. Yerevan is very walkable, but it's there's not enough trees. There is not enough small pockets of water and what have you for us to be around. I think there could be some work done there, and I would love to contribute.
Are there any plans?
Well, it's not something that we can do with fast, but I think others could be involved, including from our network. And I am speaking to them. I can't speak right now publicly, but I'm speaking and pressing and to be doing things around those areas as well. beautification of the city, of the country, naturally.
Yeah. Do you have your favorite spot or place in Yerevan and also in Armenia?
Yeah, I don't know. You've been already in our facility. That's my favorite spot because
Yeah.
we've created this creative campus. I don't think you ever want to leave the place because we have so many, with so many greens, so many trees, so many plants. It's really become my favorite spot, spending time there. But in Yerevan, I like Saryan Street actually.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, it's more authentic, I think, than many other parts. It's beautiful. Yerevan is naturally beautiful. Saryan Street, just to me, it appears a bit more authentic.
Yeah.
So I like spending time there. On the weekend, sometimes I would climb right now I live close by to Cascade, so I like to climb the stairs and go to Monument and maybe walk around the lake. So that's an interesting spot there.
Yeah, exactly. Monument needs renovation, like the.
Yeah, Monument 2 needs major renovation because it could be beautiful. The views are stunning from there. There's some plans for that as well. We'll see where those things go.
Oh, that's amazing. So Oh, Andres Sechak is very active.
Good.
People, please ask some questions to be more interesting and just talking to Armen and to us so that we can see what you're up to. We have questions. We have Victoria Petrosyan says hello. Andres Sechak again. Zara Bisharian says hi. Sumela
I see a question from Alex. Is it possible to tour of the facilities?
Okay, yeah. Alex Abramian asks, is it possible to get a tour of the facilities and possibly meet and greet some of the staff?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. Yeah. We're actually thinking, and we should do this better, we're thinking to even have possibly, pockets in a week where people just can come in just to check out the place. It's really a beautiful facility, I think. I'm not just saying if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, yes, please, Alex, you can get in touch with our office and schedule something where you can come and just check out the place. Unfortunately, it's not too big for us to have space for people just to come and hang out and mingle or take an office space. Impact Hub is great for that. You can do that at Impact Hub, you can do that at Loft. Those are great establishments you ought to try those places as well. But for startups that we take in, for entrepreneurs that we take in, for fellows that we take in, the place is available for them. And for public, you're welcome to come in and tour. Maybe in the future you'll be part of our startup cohort or one of our entrepreneurs or fellows.
So talking about startups, I have this kind of question. So can you tell me 5 or 3 things why startups fail? Why do they wrong to fail?
Naturally, all sorts of reasons, right? First, not understanding the market need. And this is one of the most critical mistakes that people make. What may appear good to you may not appear for general public. You cannot take a case study from a case, generalize, and you feel that whatever you're doing is expected. So what I would suggest is do rapid prototyping and putting it in front of your customer. It's very important to put whatever it is you're trying to do right in front of your customer really early on and see what it is. Even for us, when we launch our projects, we've already killed a number of them. About 4 or 5 of them we've killed. We put them in front of our constituency. We see if they don't have the same feel, we get them out. So that's number one. Second is not having the right team. You need to know, you need to have the core people that are working with you and when you're building any kind of an initiative that you're doing. And then running out of money. So these 3 happen quite frequently. You don't know the market need, you don't have the proper setup with people for you to run it, and then you run out of money.
So, how do startups should find their investments? What is important from the investor point of view? What is important for startups? What you can advise them to do?
You hear, and this has become a cliche. Investors invest in people, not into ideas. It's a cliche, but it's true. Especially for early stage startups, you're going to what your idea is on what the final product will be, two different things.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it's not one and the same, and it's normal because you iterate. That said, investors look for the people, whether they will be able to iterate, whether you're open for you to be able to do another round, whether you're open to change your team, rebuild, whether you have the wherewithal for you to deal with failures. You're going to fail. Everyone knows that you're going to make mistakes. Now, if you're going to take this too personal, you're going to be ashamed that you've lost it, you're not going to be able to continue this. And smart investors and mature investors, they look for those types of behavioral traits. They want to see first whether you have the capability to do it, you have intellectual capacity to do it, and within the intellectual capacity, whether you have the tools for you to overcome those challenges. If you don't, then it doesn't matter whether your idea is great or not, because execution at the end of the day is what's going to make ideas are dime a dozen. I can give you all the ideas. Another mistake, this is related but not the same. Another mistake startups make, they try to get an NDA signed because they want to protect. Look, investors don't have the time for them to steal your ideas and do anything. And again, ideas are just dime a dozen. It's about execution. If you haven't executed, they're not going to execute it. I wouldn't worry about NDAs early on in a startup's life because no one cares really.
Do you think it's, lately I've been struggling, let's say, with this kind of a mentality. So you don't have even the prototype, but you talk so much about your startup, about the idea. So you sell people the idea, but not the execution. Or what is your advice in this stage for startups? Do they need too much marketing, or they just need to be like low-key, focus on their work, and then after they have the product?
They should speak a lot to the customers.
Yeah.
Not selling, but they need to speak about low profile, focused, and trying to build it is very important. With that, you also want to talk to your customer. You always want to talk to your customer. If you don't talk to your customer, you'll shift. You'll go away. It's normal because it's something in your head, something in your team. You're just going to lose focus and you're going to steer your direction somewhere away from your customer. It's very important for you to continuously speak to your customer, not try to sell the product, but say what it is, exactly what you're trying to do. And more precise you are in what you're trying to do, better it is, because even if you're not sure, come up with something precise in your head. Look, it's the worst thing when you're asked a question and then 5 minutes later I have to re-ask my question, is because it was a lot of gaga, but there is nothing that comes out of it. So you want to be as precise as possible. That will help your customer to actually help you direct your startup or your idea in the right direction for it to become a successful business. Another thing that I would strongly recommend, look, in Armenia startup field, you would say is very active, is healthy, and certain entities have done tremendous job. I think, EIF, Enterprise Incubation Foundation, Bagrat and his team, they have done tremendous efforts for the last nearly 20 years in that space. So kudos to them, really. And that space generated a lot of startups and doing great work. I want to say, in order for Armenia to be competitive globally, for us to create startups, not one-offs, but a lot of them, a machinery almost. We need to have scientific base to startups. You need to have strong intellectual properties, internationally protected intellectual properties that would have a global impact. Don't think, build locally, but think globally. It's a must for where we're going from here, because just thinking of creating another online app, this and that is good. It will keep you, maybe give job for 10 people, support your family. But it's not going to be a breakthrough, and on a national level, I would say science. Find someone who has scientific core scientific discoveries and work off of those.
Thank you. So let's see if we're having Susan Artinian Najarian says, oh, okay. So she says, Հայրենիքը մերն է, մենք հայրենիքին առանց մեր աննկուն կամքին ոչինչ չի շարժուիր. Լավ մնացեք. Yeah, I guess this is it. It's already like 9 p.m. Are there, oh, okay, so we have answered these questions. Do you have any advice or something that we missed out so you can tell our public and our community and to all people around the world?
I would say sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
And I think it's normal that it's difficult. It was difficult for us as well. When my parents decided to move us to the United States, I was 15, didn't speak the language, we didn't have money. We didn't have money. Not that we didn't have a lot of money, we didn't have money. No language skills. So you go there, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
But we persevered. The United States had that favorable environment where we made it. We've been relatively successful, right? You measure success various ways.
Yeah.
You don't have to have palaces, big cars, and big watches for you to be successful. To be considered successful, you've succeeded. Armenia is a startup nation in a way. In historical terms, when you look at when you count the beginning of Armenians as people and then where we are, these last 28 years of independence, nearly 28 independence, is not even a rounding error. At times we can become extremely critical and impatient and expect everything to be done and to be done now, because human lifespan is very short considering what historical lifespan is. I would say be patient, be absolutely patient. It doesn't mean you sit on your hands. No, you're very active, you're very aggressive, and you're very demanding from me, from us, from the government, from anyone that's doing. You should be demanding. You should not give away, but yet you need to be patient, and you also need to be forgiving in a way. Patient, aggressive, yet patient. And I want to say that the future is not about black and white. It's not about female, male. It's not about Armenian American. It's about whether you are scientifically and technologically advanced or you're not. The haves and have-nots are not going to be about the color of people, gender of people, ethnicity of people. It's more going to be about whether you're advanced scientifically or not. If you're a parent, talk to your kids. If you're young, think again whether you want to become a lawyer, if you want to become an economist, or whatever it is you want to become. Think,
Orientalist.
Whatever, linguist, whatever it is that you want to become. Where is the world in 10 years? Where is the world in 20 years? You don't want to be at the tail end of it.
Yeah.
You'll be outside of the game. I promise you that much. You have the opportunities now. We have the opportunity now as a nation, as people, for us to jump ahead of the game. And I would want us to do that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, it was amazing. Hopefully people, we have 6 new comments. Oh my God. Hagop A says, how would we build the capability of protecting our intellectual property? This is a very good question, I think. So this may be our last question.
Look, we don't actually have poor laws of intellectual property. We just don't protect it well.
Yeah.
So the judicial system is not functioning at the level that we need it to function. The laws need to be strengthened, for sure, and the judicial system also needs to be strengthened. And there's some work that's being done. But it's two-sided, guys. It's always two-sided. I'll give you a very interesting example for you to understand what laws mean. Laws also need to be respected by the very people that demand for them to set it up. I'll give you an example between Los Angeles and New York City, for instance. Both Los Angeles and New York City have the laws on paper for them to ticket you if you're crossing the street under the red light, jaywalking. If any of you have been to New York, you see that no one stops at any kind of a light. You won't dare to do that in Los Angeles. People respect the law, and it works. In New York, people don't respect the law, and it doesn't work. Here in Armenia, if every person respects the law, it will begin working. But we expect the law work for us, rather us working for the law. And this is not the right approach. Because we're saying, until it works, I also will do it. Then you're no different than from the rest of the lawbreakers. If you stand your ground, this is why I say the most important quality is integrity.
Yes.
As an individual, but integrity of who you are and what you're doing. If you stay strong within the confines of integrity of you as an individual and integrity of the system, then the integrity of the system will not be compromised.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us. We're finished. Hope you have a great night and a great start of a productive week. I am here with Armen Orujyan, and bye-bye.
Thank you.